Hello everyone, my name is Adeola. I am an educator, an author, a playwright, and a publisher. I have published 7 books, 3 adult books and 4 children's books. If you're joining me for the first time, I would like to share the mission of this channel with you. This channel is specifically for sharing information about writing, reading, and publishing. I read and tell stories. I read my own published books and other books that catch my attention and that I think you all might like to listen to. I am sorry I've been away for a minute, just a minute, but I am back because I will never be away forever. When I am not here, I miss what I do with a passion. I have missed you and I am glad to be back. Hope your summer has been great. Mine has been lovely, wonderful. I started this channel 2 years ago with a series I titled Olabooks Readers Reviews. I started with the reading of my first novel, Colors of Love. I read every week, at the end of which I share a few inspirations about what I have read, all in 10 minutes. I went back to watch some of those videos and I really liked them. Some comments left on some videos really impressed me. I really appreciate the sincere reviews of my videos and books. Thank you for stopping by. It promises to be a good time for us. I stopped reading Colors of Love after reading chapter 8. Today, I want to continue the story. I will start reading from chapter 9. I have included the previous videos where I was reading Colors of Love in a playlist in the description below. Click on that link to listen and refresh your memory or to know where we are coming from. If you have never been on this channel or have never read the book, I have included some links to where you can also purchase the book in the description below. Chapter 9, The Meeting. This is what the beginning of the chapter looks like. Each chapter has a picture preceding it. Why? Because I am a visual person. I like pictures, I like videos, I like beautiful things, and I also like expressing what I am saying in pictures. All right, let's get into reading. Susan was getting big. Her face was swollen, her nose was bigger. She had added several pounds. Her whole body was strange to her because she was 7 months pregnant. She was lonely except for Aunt Joy's frequent visits. What would she have done without her? Nothing was the answer. She gave her all kinds of support, spiritual, physical, emotional, name it. She was there for her. She decided to take a walk today just as Aunt Joy had suggested, but she changed her mind about the trail and decided to go to the store instead. She went to the Giants for some groceries. She was happy to find some fruits and food items she had been longing for. She found coconut, pawpaw, and grapefruit. She also found an African-made bread, which she put in her cart with delight. She was thinking of the pleasure in her taste buds as she would munch on the roll, when a pile of big fresh plantains came into view. It was across the aisle from the African bread. As she pushed her cart excitedly to the plantains, she saw someone who looked familiar. She looked closely, and it was Carrie, Tosin's wife. She turned her cart away and quickly walked toward another aisle. What was Carrie doing in her neighborhood? She pushed her cart around for some minutes and then headed back to the plantains. There was no one there. She was joyfully making her choice when Carrie walked back to the plantains right beside her, and she was on the phone. As Susan looked up, their eyes locked. There was silence. Within the silence was a question on Carrie's face, then a recognition, and then a knowing look. "Hello," Carrie broke the silence. "Hello," Susan said and tried to walk away. "Susan, right?" "Yes." "How have you been?" "Have been good. And you?" I am fine. Congratulations, Carrie said, pointing to Susan's protruded tummy. Thank you. I am happy you moved on, Susan smiled in return. Wishing you a safe delivery. Thank you. You have a good evening, said Carrie. Before she could walk away, Susan said, I am sorry for everything. For what? Carrie asked. You did nothing to me. I'm just happy you moved on with your life. I'm sure you're in love with your... She looked at her hand and saw no ring. Husband. Susan followed her eyes and smiled. You don't want to know. For what? Carrie asked. You did nothing to me. I'm just happy you moved on with your life. I'm sure you're in love with your... She looked at her hand and saw no ring. Husband. Susan followed her eyes and smiled. You don't want to know. With that, she walked away. Carrie couldn't keep her mind off the conversation she had with Susan at the store. It kept coming to her mind, and she did not know why. She had nobody to talk to. Tosin was out of town on business. Yenny was on a date with Ralph, and she barely answered her calls. She had no other friend. It was a cold night, so she curled up in bed with a hot cup of cocoa, watching a movie. She dozed off only to wake up 30 minutes later from a disturbing dream. In her dream, she saw Susan wearing Tosin's new tuxedo, the gray one she bought for him for his birthday. She moved closer to her and questioned her with her eyes. Susan looked elated with her beaming smiles. Then Carrie challenged her with words. She wanted to know why she was wearing her husband's clothes. Susan stared at her for an extended time before giving her a reply. You can figure it out. She walked away with smiles, leaving Carrie with an astonished look. She woke up with a start. What a dream. What could it be? She called Yenny again. This time, she answered the call with a drowsy response. I'll call you in the morning, girlfriend. She felt like throwing the phone against the wall. All right, she said to herself. I need to calm down. Everything will be all right. With that, she turned back to the TV just in time for Element to begin a new movie. She used the cinema to block the rising anxiety within her. It helped. The film was entertaining, but she couldn't sleep. She had barely dozed off in the early hours of the morning when Tosin called. Something came up, and he had to stay longer than he thought he would. He'll be back in 2 days. The thoughts of what came up kept sleep away from her. She finally went to sleep after she had had a warm glass of milk. She woke up an hour later with a pang of hunger. She wondered what to eat. Moi moi was her choice, her leftover dinner. She could make some custard and have a good meal. That she did. The meal was so good she wanted more, but she decided to save the rest for later. After washing the dishes, she decided to do the laundry. The fragrance from the laundry soap gave her instant nausea. Before she could figure out why, she started vomiting. All the good food went down the drain. That was how she spent her day. She vomited all day until there was nothing left to vomit. She only remembered to turn her phone on in the late afternoon. Yenny had left 2 messages. She was eagerly looking forward to one from her husband, but there was none. She decided not to call him. She called Yenny. She laughed when Carrie said she had been vomiting. You need a pregnancy test, girl. Go get one and call me back. That was it. She was pregnant. At last she was. She'd been anxious about it for the past 5 months since she'd been married. She needed to be sure. She dragged her weak body to the car but felt too weak to drive. She called Uber. Wow, I will stop reading right here where she called the Uber. So the next time I come your way, I will finish reading chapter 9. Quickly, I want to say a few things about the few lines I have read to you. The need, the need to talk to other people. No matter how quiet you are, no matter how reserved you are, no matter how much you like to keep to yourself, there are times you are bloated up with whatever is going on in your life that you will like to talk to someone. We all have lonely times. We only pray that our lonely moments do not extend beyond what we can handle. So that happened to Carrie. She was waiting for her husband's call. He didn't come. When he came, he couldn't even give her an excuse for why he was staying a few days longer. But that was not the case for Susan. Susan was pregnant. Susan was dealing with so many issues. Please go down the link below and find previous readings so that you can understand why Susan has all these kind of feelings. And he needed someone. And her aunt was there for her. Auntie Joy was able to give her the support that she needed. So if you know someone around you that you think needs your support, please don't draw away from them. You might be their savior at that point in time. Some people just need someone to listen to what they have to say, while some people need advice. Make sure you are there for people who need you. And maybe you are in a position who needs someone to talk to. Please, if you know someone you can trust, that you need to open up to, someone who will give you a good advice, please go ahead and talk. There are times when talking to people will actually save you from the situation you are in. All right, it's going to be so interesting. Susan met with Carrie, and Carrie thought she moved on. Did she really move on? We're going to find out sooner or later. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to end this today, and I want you all to have a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend. See you next week. Bye.